Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Korea Complete KIIP Level 4 Grammar Review Part 5. Wow, I can't believe we've already made it to Part 5. I've put a lot of time and effort into this series, so I really hope you enjoy and learn something and pass your exam. So let's get right into it. So, I really love the KIIP program. So personally, I'm taking it myself and I have passed Level 3 and 4. And I'm currently in level 5, and I'll let you guys know if I pass or fail. I'll make a video letting you guys know and what to do next time to study better. But anyways, one of the biggest problems with the KIIP program is the grammar points. There's a lot of grammar, right? Level 3, level 4, it's just cram-packed with grammar. Probably between both of those books is almost 100 unique grammar pieces. And unfortunately, there's no explanation, right? So there's a lot of examples, but no explanations, right? And obviously, like being a second language learner in that class, it's hard to understand the intricacies and the nuances coming from your teacher who's a native speaker. So I highly recommend you get this book series, right? And I'll tell you straight up, I have no affiliation with these books at all. I'm not marketing anything. I personally use these books and they're really great. And honestly, like the first one here, first series here, I spent maybe my first 2 years reading and learning about this, and that was like really good basic grammar, right? If you memorize this book, you're probably a little bit higher than this level, but it has lots of basic stuff, right? So you can always go back to the basics and brush up on the fundamentals, and it never hurts. And from time to time, I still do crack open the first book, right, just to review some basic stuff at a expert level. And then here we have the green book and level 3 and 4 and grammar points. Level 5 doesn't actually have grammar points. It's all reading and understanding the culture. But level 3 and 4 mostly comes from this green book. So when I make these videos, I consult this book here, and it's got everything laid out very simply and properly and very amazingly and thoroughly laid out. So it's a really great book. Most of your grammar points will be found in this, and you can read it in English and everything. Also, they have Chinese and Japanese as well, if you're not a native English speaker. And here you have level 3, the third book in the series. This is very advanced grammar, so only a few grammar points in the KIIP program come from this book here. But it's very high level. Like it's stuff you're not gonna, it's above spoken Korean. It's very academic and newspaperly and written form, but it's useful to have. So once again, I have all three of these books, and this is where I've learned my grammar, and I still consult these books to this day. And I have no affiliation with these books. I'm not marketing them at all. So I personally recommend these books. If you'd want to really understand the grammar, not just pass the test, but really understand the grammar and integrate it into your everyday Korean speaking, these are the books to go with. Okay, so first one we have is 는다면서요. So I heard something from somebody else, okay? So this can be a little bit tricky, but let me explain it to you so you can understand it. It's used to confirm information with somebody that they heard from a different person, also shortened to damya. So if you see 는다며, it's the same thing, more colloquial, more spoken, more with friends. And this is like what this is saying is like, is it true that blah 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 blah, right? So is it true that you broke up with your girlfriend? So obviously the person you're talking to didn't tell you that, right? You've heard this information secondhand from somebody, and you're confirming the information, right? So is it true that you got fired from your job or blah blah blah, or I heard that your wife's pregnant, something like that. So you're confirming knowledge with the speaker that you've heard from somebody else. And this is not directly experienced or saw by the speaker in that case, right? So if you want to confirm something you saw or experienced, just you use dagoyo, right? So dagoyo is more like, did you just say that? Or confirming something usually something the person just said. And our example is John, is it true you broke up with your girlfriend? John, 여자친구랑 헤어졌다면서요? So John, is it true you broke up with your girlfriend? And basically, just to compare and contrast, if you say John, 여자친구랑 헤어졌다고요, is like saying, John, did you just say you broke up with your girlfriend? Like, did you just tell me that? Or something like that. Did you tell me something like that? And we have some more examples because, as I said, this is a little tricky and I kind of stumbled around with this for a while too, but now I got it down. So we have 부산이 정말 아름답다면서요. So it's like you're confirming that you heard that Busan was beautiful from somebody else, and you're confirming with somebody, right, that knows or maybe knows. So these days I hear Busan is really beautiful, right? So you're confirming something you heard with the speaker. And here we go. We have 다음 주말에 생일 파티라면서요. And it looks like you're talking about ramen, but you're not. It has nothing to do with ramen at the party. Instead of 다면서요, when you instead of using 이다, when you connect 다면서 with 이다, right? It becomes 라면서. So 다 becomes ra when you connect it with the verb 이다 without a consonant in the 받침, right? So let me show you right here. So T is a vowel, and vowel is ra with a vowel. And here we have 생일 이라면서요. 참. So you have lil here, which is a consonant, and it becomes 이라면서 when it's consonant. So in this case, the verb is 이다, which is to be or identifying something, because in Korean, 있다 is to show location or to have location of something and to have something, while ida is purely identifying the noun or identifying something. So you're identifying the party, and you're identifying if it is a party, and then so you use 라면선 or 이라면선. So here we have chigo, and chigo you add to a noun to make whatever you're talking about a general case for something, right? So generality, you put chigo onto the noun and it shows that. So here we have Korean people usually like kimchi. 한국 사람 치고 kimchi 좋아. So basically generally Korean people do like kimchi, and this is you're kind of emphasizing the generality of the case. And here we have 농구 선수 치고 키가 커요, right? So basically basketball players are generally tall people, right? So it varies, it's a very good example because basketball players are usually tall, and you add chigo there and it shows that, it emphasizes that, makes your case. So here we have rea suapta. And this actually is quite complicated and hard to wrap your head around. So I struggled with this one a lot too, but now I have it after studying those grammar books I told you. So basically, you want to do something a lot, but you can't do it, right? So if you say 도서관 시끄러워서 공부를 하래야 할 수 없어요. So the person wants to study but can't do it, right? So when you want to do something but you can't do it, you write this. The library is noisy, so I can't study. And here we have, I can't stay mad at my brother. 내 형이 화를 내래야 내릴 수 없다. It's also a bit of a tongue twister too as well. But yeah, so it's not just like something like an action. It's it has to do with anything, believing somebody, or angry, or not just like basic action. So thoughts as well. And it's only verbs and mainly spoken according to the grammar book, the green grammar book. So here we have kille, and this falls under reasons for stuff. There's so many different ways to show reasons in Korean, and this one is very rarely used. I don't think I've really come across this much in reading Korean or listening to people talk, but it is good to know what it is. So here we have, it's an external reason for something, similar to 덕분에 or something like that, 때문에, 느라고. It's a reason. So the weather was cold, so I turned on the heater. Right now, 날씨가 춥길래 히터 켰다. And here we have 미세먼지 높길래 창문을 닫았어요. Because the pollution was high, I shut the window. So it's very similar to like since or because, right? In English, we only have a few different ways to show reason, right? We say since, usually you say since or because, but Korean is much more nuanced with multiple different ways of saying that, and some are external, and some are good, and some are bad. So it's the beauty and horror of learning Korean. So this shows a past tense hypothetical situation, 어떠라면, and it's basically, I wrote if there, right, just to show you that it's basically a past tense if. And so if you said, for instance, 라면, 먹었더라면, so if I ate ramen, blah, 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 blah. And don't confuse this with 어떠니, right, because they look very similar. And they're kind of similar in a sense that they're both showing a past tense situation. But 어떠니 is a past tense reason, right? So for instance, ramen 먹었더니 is because I ate ramen, while this form is ramen 먹었더라면, which means if I ate ramen, and then the following clause is the outcome of that. So here we have 나는 숙제를 제대로 했더라면 좋은 성적을 받았을 텐데. Yo. And basically, so he's the guy saying, if I did my homework properly, I would have got a good grade. So it's almost like would as well, right? Because in English, you have to use would to show past tense with if, right? And another thing is it's usually used with 텐데요 and 거예요, which comes from level 3 grammar, which shows supposition, right? And supposition is something you think will happen or happened, something you think but you don't know exactly, right? So that's why this is past tense, situation, hypothetical, and you use goyo and tendeo because you're kind of assuming something, right? It's supposition as well. So this is quite complicated when you think about it. And the second example, we have ramen 먹지 않았더라면. This is the negative form. So if I didn't eat ramen, 붙지 않았을 거예요. And 붓다 means to be swollen, right? So he's saying I wouldn't have been swollen. I don't think I would have been swollen, like something like that, right? And it's kind of Korean myth is if you eat ramen, you will get like swollen cheeks in the morning, right? And to be honest with you, the amount of calories in ramen is insane. I think one ramen has 600, 700 calories, as well as salts and MSGs and stuff. It's like the same as eating samgyeopsal. You can have a full serving of samgyeopsal, and it's probably going to be less than one ramen. So that's why people wake up with fat faces. They're not swollen, guys. They're actually fat because ramen are loaded with calories. All right, so this one's actually really easy. It's basically the same as myeon, but just a little more hypothetical in nature, so it's really not that hard. So here we have, if I won the lottery, uh, 복권에 당첨된다면 새 페라리 구입할게요. So you can see the difference between 음연 and damyon, right? So winning the lottery is a very hypothetical situation, right? It's not likely. You're not likely to win the lottery, right? It's extremely unlikely. So that's how you're showing the hypotheticalness, right? Buy a new Ferrari. 구입 hada is to buy something, and gume hada is to buy something as well. There's three ways to say buy, so that's another good way, two good words to add into your vocabulary, so you're not always saying sata or sada. You can say guip hada and gume hada. They all mean to buy, purchase, stuff like that. And next one, 내일 눈이 온다면 지하철 탈 거야. So if it snows tomorrow, I will take the subway. So you got to remember, it doesn't snow often in Seoul, right? Or even most places. In Busan, it almost never snows. The south coast of Korea is subtropical, so it almost never snows there. So if you're somebody living in, like, say, the south coast of Korea, and you're saying if it snows tomorrow I'll take the subway, so you're showing it's a very hypothetical situation. It's not likely to happen, right? It doesn't really snow much in Korea generally, let alone that place in Korea. So if it snows tomorrow, which it probably won't, or it's not very likely, I'll take the subway. So here, this one is actually very complicated, and I think this was one of the few grammar points that came out of the advanced textbook. Um, so it's quite high level, and it means a lot. It's Riga upda, right? And this means that something is not true or unbelievable based on your previous experience, right? So something can't be true, or you don't believe it based on something you know, right? I know it's quite nuanced, but we have 개가 미칠 리가 없어. So I tried to make this simple, right? Another thing that's super crazy about the KIIP program and these grammar textbooks, especially in the higher levels, they put these examples in the most ridiculous, like, high-level sentences, and it just makes it even more confusing. So I try to make it as simple as possible, right? So once again, 개가 is like saying he, or right, which it literally translates into 그 아이, which is the colloquial form of saying he. Literally means that kid, but it's used in lieu of he or she. And like, he's not crazy, right? So you're saying he can't be crazy because based on something you know about him, right? You know him that he's not crazy, so you're saying he's 미치리가 없어. And the next one is 부산에 눈이 올 리가 없어, or 올 리 없는다. And so it doesn't snow in Busan, or very rarely does it snow, but you're basically saying, like, based on your knowledge, it doesn't do that. So, and also the ga can be omitted. Here we have ro inhesa, and this shows the reason or cause for a situation or a state or something. And you'll see this a lot in written form. People don't usually say it in the spoken form, but you'll see it a lot in a formal situation. It's written, like, a lot of times you'll see it in the news, right? Because of so and so, blah 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 blah, right? Because of this thing, ro inhesa, and then I'll state a reason. So we have 오늘 태풍으로 인해서 직장에 못 간다. So because of the typhoon, I can't go to work. And here we have many people are addicted because of online games, right? 온라인 게임으로 인해서 사람들이 많이 중독됩니다. Right? So because of the game such and such, because of the typhoon such and such. You usually start off with the cause of the reason, and then the outcome of the reason follows. So this is bun만 아니라, and it shows multiple reasons for something, and it's really good. It's used a lot in Korean spoken language and written language, so pay close attention to this one. 그 여자가 예쁠 뿐만 아니라 책을 많이 읽으셔요. So basically, you're saying that she's not only pretty, but she reads a lot too. And the second one is 난 평일 뿐만 아니라 주말에도 일한다. So not only do I work on weekdays, I work on weekends also. So here we have 기에, and once again we have another thing that shows a reason for a sentence. And now I have to admit, it's kind of getting ridiculous how many of these are here. So let me just open up the grammar book, the green grammar book. I have it right here in my hand. For chapter 4 is expressing reasons. We have 거든요, 잖아요, 느라고, 는바람에, 는탓에, 고해서, 울까봐. We also have 기에, we have 기래, and I'm sure there's more, but that's maybe almost 10 different reasons for showing the reason for something. So it is a little ridiculous, but you don't often see these that much. So it's good to know them, but you don't have to worry about them that much because you won't have to really use them necessarily in spoken Korean. So this one is according to the Green Book, because I had to look it up. It's almost, there's so many different ones. It's hard to differentiate them or even see a real reason to why there are so many. But this one, according to the grammar textbooks, are saying that it's written and formal situations, right? So this would be for high level writing in Korean. So you don't need to use this in everyday speech. And if you do, even if you write this, like use 기에 to your friends, they're gonna think you're kind of strange or don't really know what you're doing. So unfortunately, I guess you could try to impress your friends by using this kind of stuff, but often it'll just come off as awkward. So I talked to one of my Korean friends about this, and I used it in an example, and he thought it just sounded very awkward because I didn't tell him I was trying to show. I was just talking to him in Korean, and I wrote 기에 for something, and he actually commented like that it sounded very awkward and why did you write that and stuff. And I told him that I was just trying to practice using that, and he understood. But as you said, it's very rare, and you'll come across it in high level writing, so don't worry about it too much. So it's like 대문에, but more high end, so to speak. So here we have 지하철역이 가까워서 이용하기에 좋다. So it's good to use it's good for him to use the subway because the station's really close to him. And Busan has ocean, so it's good to go there in the summer. 부산은 바다가 있어서 여름 휴가를 가기에 좋다. So here we have 지도 모르다, and this shows that something might happen or may happen, right? So you're thinking about something happening, but you don't know exactly. You're just assuming. So this one's saying that the 시험이 별로 어려워서 떨어졌을지도 몰라요. So basically, the exam was hard, so I might have failed or I may have failed, and when you want to talk about something that happened in the past, that you think happened in the past, you connect the verb with this part here in the past tense, while this part always stays the same. The actual verb ending stays the same always, but the verb you attach to this piece of grammar changes from present tense to past tense. So the next example we have is 비가 올지도 몰라요. So it might rain. And that is like in the future or in the present, right? And another example is you might regret it. 너는 후회할지도 모르겠어. And here we have 는 셈이다. And this is another good one to learn, and it's showing that the situation, like something is basically this or practically that or almost blah blah blah. So you're showing that something is pretty much something's happened or something is something. So for instance, I lived in Seoul for 20 years. It's pretty much my hometown. It's basically my hometown. It's practically my hometown. So 20년 이상 살았으니까 고향인 셈이에요. So it's basically my hometown because the person lived there for 20 years. It's pretty much his hometown or blah blah blah. And then 끝난 셈이에요. It's pretty much finished. 끝나는 셈이에요. It was almost finished. Right? So that's the past tense verb versus the present tense form, right? So actually, the first one is past tense, and the second one is present tense. So 끝난, it was practically finished, or here we have it is practically finished. And here we have 마련이다. So you're saying like it's normal, it's natural for something to happen, right? So we have 겨울에는 춥기 마련이에요. So you're saying it's normal to be cold in the winter, it's natural to be cold in the winter. When something is normal or natural, you put that onto it. So here we have 가족이 그리우면 생각이 나기 마련이에요. So it's natural to miss your family when you think about them, right? And the verb here, this is actually a very tricky verb. I had to look this up, right? So the verb 그립다 is to miss somebody or something, like kind of be homesick. And as you know, it has a biip in the 받침, so it's an irregular verb. It's a 불규칙 verb. So it becomes 그리워, like that. 그리워. And actually in this case, and then when it attaches to 면, it's 그리우면, right? So you're probably thinking, how did you know that? So I have another tip for you. If you go to dongsa.net, excuse me, and you type in the verb, it will give you a list of all the different conjugations and attachments. So that's what I did. Typed in 그립다 into the dongsa.net, and it shows you how it attaches with 면. And finally, we have 는 탓에. So another reason, but this one's a negative one, all right? So basically, it is a external reason for something, and it's not a good one. It's a negative. So 어제 술을 많이 마신 탓에 오늘 아침이 머리가 아팠어요. So I had a headache this morning because I drank a lot of alcohol. So this is the reason, right? The reason is he drank alcohol. The outcome is his head hurt. And the connection between the two clauses is 탓에, and it's something, it's a negative thing that happened. It's a negative because, essentially. And finally, we have 장마철인 탓에. So 장마철 is the rainy season, or monsoon season, however you want to think about it. 비가 자주 온다, right? So once you can see that it's a negative reason. So it often rains lots, and obviously you don't want to get caught in the rain. It can be inconvenient, and it's humid and stuff. So it's a negative reason for something to happen. So, okay, guys, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this. It's been a long journey to get to part 5 to review all this, and I hope you learned a lot and enjoyed this. And if you like this, please sub and give me a like. It took me a long time to make all these videos, so um, I really hope it helped you. And if you enjoy and support this channel, please leave a like and subscribe. So once again, thanks and have a good day.